friends, welcome to Food Decoded, where I help you to reset your relationship with food, lose weight and keep it off, and eat healthy. My name is Yemi Fadikpe. It's always a delight to have you on my channel. We are currently going through a series of videos around food trends, and in my previous video we talked about vegetarian and vegan diets, and is that always healthy? If that's something that you're interested in, use the link above to go back and see that video. In today's video, we're going into another trend, and this one is a trend that my black people can be proud of when they're talking about food that is made at home, especially from Africa or from the Caribbean, and that is organic food. So today we are answering the question, is organic food truly healthier? I don't know why I did that, but anyway, yeah, so that's what we're talking about today. So what is organic food? Let's just define it, because first I realized that a lot of people don't even know what organic food truly means. There's a lot of misconception around organic food. Organic food products are those products that are derived or produced from a farming method that doesn't use artificial fertilizers, doesn't use pesticides, totally prohibits the use of irradiation and genetic modified like GMOs, and it doesn't use like growth hormones and feed additives to feed animals. So any product that is made out of that kind of farming system is classified as organic food. So if you take note of what I said organic foods are those that are produced without the use of artificial fertilizers, because there's a lot of people who think that organic food does not use fertilizers or pesticide. But the truth is, organic foods are not 100% pesticide or chemical free. No. If you believed that before, sorry to disappoint you, that if food is organic does not mean that it's 100% chemical or pesticide. That is because there are limited numbers of pesticides that are still allowed to be used in organic farming. So yes, when you're consuming organic food, you can be sure that your risk of having pesticide residues in the food is lower because it's just a limited number that is allowed. But the truth is, it is not 100% chemical free. Mostly, you need to be able to have about 95% natural, organic ingredients to be able to call a product organic. So the remaining 5% can be inorganic, and it could be anything, as long as it's not GMO and all of the things I mentioned earlier. Now, there is a misconception about Africans, like I said earlier. When people are going back home, I hear it a lot among Nigerians. They say, I'm going to Nigeria, I'm going to be eating organic for the next X number of days, X number of weeks. We always think that foods that are grown in our own countries, in the Caribbean, in sub-Saharan Africa, are automatically organic. I hate to disappoint you, but that is not the truth. As a matter of fact, over the past year, the use of pesticides, artificial pesticides and fertilizers have doubled in sub-Saharan Africa. In fact, market data shows that between 2000 and year 2019, the use of pesticides in sub-Saharan Africa rose from 64,000 tons to 108,000 tons. So when you go home and you're eating those things and you think you're eating organic, you might actually not be eating organic. The likelihood is that you're most definitely not eating organic. The problem with foods grown in sub-Saharan Africa from this point of view, why you might not even be eating organic, is one, the farmers are not even adequately trained on the appropriate use and dosage of these pesticides, and most of the governments in that continent do not regulate for pesticides. They don't check. The regulations are very, very weak. When the regulations are in place, they're just on paper. People can get away with it and not be caught for misusing these things. I think what we tend to mistake for organic when we talk about foods that are made back home is we tend to mistake minimally processed food with organic. Yes, a lot of the products we consume when we go back home are not ultra processed, they are still closer to to nature. So yes, they might be minimally processed, but it doesn't mean that they are organic. I'm so sorry to burst your bubble. So what difference does it make, consuming organic or just the conventional food products? First, before I go into that, I wanted to talk about, I mentioned earlier that the minimal processed food. So there is also a difference between natural foods and organic foods. So this whole concept of organic is the way the crop is farmed or the animal is grown. Natural food this food is not even when it's raw. It is not raw. So, oh God, I think I'm confusing you guys. So what we often tend to refer to as organic is actually minimally processed food, because our foods that we find back home have not been ultra processed compared to the kind of foods you find in supermarkets on the shelf, but it doesn't necessarily mean they are organic. There is a difference between raw food, natural food, and organic. Raw food is close to nature. If you're eating orange, it's different from having orange juice. If you are eating nuts, it's different from having Nutella, for example. Yeah, so raw is closer to nature. Natural is different from raw. When they put a label that this food is natural, it doesn't mean it's still raw. It just means that they haven't used any artificial ingredients or artificial additives in making it. So most likely it's minimally processed. The concept of organic, like I described earlier, is around the farming method used to grow that crop and used to raise the animals. And I hope that clarifies. So what's the difference between organic foods and standard conventional food in terms of their health value or nutritional value? So far, studies have actually shown that the nutrient levels generally between organic foods and their standard conventional versions is relatively similar. There has been few nutrients that have been found to be more in organic than conventional foods, and that would include omega-3 in things like your egg and antioxidants in your plant products. So yes, but other than that, generally the nutrient level in organic food and standard conventional food, based on scientific studies, are very, very similar. And there hasn't been any conclusive study to suggest that people who consume organic food are healthier as a result of organic food, because there are also other principles that come into play. A food can be organic because of the way it's made, like red meat. It doesn't mean that it's not still high in saturated fat. It doesn't mean that it's not still linked to bowel cancer if you overconsume it. So that's where I'm trying to get you to understand all of these principles about what makes a food healthy and unhealthy. So what is the conclusion? The fact that a food is organic, like I just explained, does not mean it's automatically healthy. I can't overemphasize it. What makes your food healthy? Higher consumption of fiber, whole grains, fruits, vegetables, pulses, white fish and white meat, reduction of saturated fats, sugars, and salt. Now, if you can afford organic food, definitely go for it, because anything that is less in pesticides, especially if you live in a country where the use of chemicals to manipulate food is just uncontrolled, or it's just too much, then yes, there is always an advantage in consuming organic. But if you cannot afford organic, stick to those healthy eating principles that I just talked about, and you will be fine. I hope you found this information useful. If you want more information about this, I've included references below and links to information that you can read further about this if you want to find out more. Please don't keep this information that you're getting from Food Decoded to yourself. Do me a favor and kindly share it with your friends and family. I really hope that we can get these videos to reach more people, especially in our Black community this year. And I'm counting on you to help me to achieve that goal. Thank you again for stopping by, and I'll see you in the next video where we talk about yet another food trend that you will be interested in knowing about. Love you. Bye-bye.